Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me again today. And today I'm going to show you how to make this little card. This is the card that I sent out with my customer thank you packs this month. Some of you might know that when anybody shops with me, I like to send a little thank you the next month. So I try and do it at the beginning of the month. I'm a bit late this month, I have to admit, but it's been a bit crazy. And so what I do is I make a handmade card, and I always write in the card but on a post-it note, so that if anybody wanted to remove the post-it note and then reuse the cards, they could. I send a little handmade gift, which will be my next video, so which you'll see what I sent out this month in the next video. And I also send a product gift if they've used my shopping code, which is always on my blog, paperdaisycrafting.co.uk. So if you'd like to get a little package, where else would you get that? If you order from Hobbycraft, you don't get a thank you package. If you order from me, you do. And this month I'm using the Peaceful Poppies set to make my thank you card. Beautiful set, lovely line drawings of poppies, beautiful papers, and I've just used a bit to do my cards. I remembered halfway through sending these out, so I had to make a lot more of these, but I only remembered halfway through that I hadn't done this video, so I rescued 3 so that I could show you them in the video, but the others are on their way. Right, okay, so normal card base to start with, which is 21 by 15, scored at 10.5, or 8.25 by 6 inches, scored at 4 1/8. So that's nice and easy. And then we've got a panel of DSP backed with some Poppy Parade paper. So I'm going to take my gorgeous little mini trimmer, and if you're watching this and you haven't joined Stampin' Up yet, what are you waiting for? Because you can get this little mini trimmer absolutely free, and it's gorgeous, and it's really good for making cards like this because you can just cut little bits really easily. Oh, listen to that, very satisfying. So that's my strip of DSP that's going across there, and it's 4 centimeters wide, or I haven't done the inches on here. I'll have to do the inches when I come to do my my blog, but it needs to be slightly wider than the card because I like it to overlap and then trim it off. And then I need a little bit of Poppy Parade as well, and that bit of Poppy Parade isn't going to fit in that little trimmer. I should have cut it down before I came on camera. Hey ho, I've got my other trimmer here. So let's trim this down on the bigger trimmer, and this needs to be 4.5, so it's just 0.5 centimetre bigger than the DSP, so that the DSP will rest on it like that. So that's going to go there. I'm going to trim this off a little bit because I don't need it quite that wide, that long, and I had some other bits left over, and I'm going to do something with those little scraps. I'm going to make another card, so I don't want to waste it, so I'm going to put that there. Just trim that there, and then I'm going to mount that onto my card with some Tombow, which I'll find here. Here's my Tombow. So I'm going to mount the DSP first of all. So I must apologise if you've been watching my videos, the last 2 have cut off really abruptly at the end before I'd actually finished the project, and I only realised when somebody commented, and it's because I tend to video on my camera, which will only video 16.5 minutes, and then it just cuts off, and sometimes it gives me a warning and sometimes it doesn't. So I wasn't aware, I hadn't checked the videos through, so I really apologise if you've been watching my videos on the Bonanza Buddies or the concertina card that I posted the other day. Really sorry that cut off. If you want to see the finished concertina card, there are pictures on my blog yesterday, on Monday. Right, so now I'm going to glue that not too far down. I'll measure that in a minute and see how far down it is. About the same as this one. Oh look, I've nearly done it exactly the same, slightly higher. So let's just squidge that down just slightly. And it is, if I measure that, it is about 4.5 centimetres from the top of the card, and then I'm going to trim that off. So you get a really nice crisp edge there with no overlap and no white card showing, so it just looks really good. Okay, right, now I need a piece of Whisper white card because we're going to stamp the poppy. I've mounted my poppy stamp onto my block already. If you haven't already seen, this is the stamp set with lots of lovely images and lots of messy backgrounds. It's not really my thing, but I am going to make myself use them, do some stamping with them, but for today we're just using this poppy. So I'm going to stamp it in Memento Black. Just make sure it's nicely inked up. There we go. And I'm going to do it further away from the edge than I actually need it because I'm going to trim this down. There we go, there's my poppy. And while I'm doing that, and just give that a little chance to dry, I'm just going to stamp my thank you, which is the thank you from Tropical Chic I'm using here. So this is the Tropical Chic stamp set and I'm using that thank you. So I'm just going to print that at the stamp mat at the bottom. Make sure it's nice and inky. Like so. There we go. Right, and that's all my black ink done with, unless you wanted to print something in, stamp something inside, which you could. Right, now then we're going to do a little bit of colouring with the Poppy Parade markers. I had to buy these specially because I didn't have them, so I had to buy these. Oh, I want the light one first. Let's start with the light one. Okay, so I'm starting with light Poppy Parade on the flower. I did do some before these arrived. I did do some poppies with real red, which worked okay, and a little bit of cherry cobbler. So they're a darker red, but they worked okay. So if you haven't got Poppy Parade, you could maybe substitute for a colour that you have got, or you could maybe use markers. If you've got any marker pens, they would do. I had Poppy Parade marker pen, so I also tried using that. There we go. So that's done with the light. I'm then going to come in with the dark and just do the base of the petals a little bit. So you get a bit of graduation on the bud, and then I'm going to go back over it with my light just to blend those colours in, and then you should get a seamless blend from the dark to the light. And then the stalk I just did with old olive. So you need a very gentle touch here so that you don't go out the lines of the stem. So just very carefully. And then again I'm going to colour the leaves in, the leaf rather, there's only one leaf in with the light pen. You notice I'm using the pencil point of these, the bullet point. I'm not using the brush because they're quite fine, these lines. And then I'm going to come in and do the other side. Oh, wrong end. Do the other side of the leaf with the dark pen. It's so great how these all coordinate. Love these blends. If you haven't bought any blends yet, what you could do is buy some blends and then you could earn yourself a free celebration item at the moment. Right, okay, so there's my pop tulip. It's pointing a bit that way, so when I trim it I'm going to try and straighten that up. And my panel for my tulip needs to be 4.5 by 9, so my little trimmer can come back in. And I'm going to try, right, first of all I'm going to trim off much too wide so that I've got a smaller piece to be working with. So what did I say? So let's just trim a bit off the top there as well. Okay, right, so I want to trim it down to 4.5 wide. So I'm going to straighten up these stems so that they're just going up straight rather than to the side. And let's try there. And then if I turn it round and trim this bit, and then I can trim this bit, and it's still a bit too wide, but that's all right. I'll come back and do that again. And it needed to be 9, so it needs to be there. So the length is fine, it's just the width that needs trimming down a little bit still. So I'll just trim that way, and then trim that way. Still just slightly too wide, not very much. I'll just trim a tiny bit more off here. But you see this little trimmer, how wonderful this little trimmer is for doing this. It's really great. Right, there's my panel. There's my tulip panel. And I just need a piece of Poppy Parade. My Poppy Parade is going to be 4.8, so not very much smaller, not much bigger than the panel that we've just cut, and 9.3, so only 3mm bigger each side. So we're going to have a tiny border around here. So that is going to go onto there, and actually I've got a bit of a rough cut on that one. I'm going to trim that off a little bit. Just going to trim that off again. I obviously wasn't holding that down tightly enough. That's better. Right, okay, so in comes the Tombow again. I'm keeping an eye on the time because I don't want to be cut off in my prime again. I think I'm all right at the minute. Pop that on there. Line it up, try and get the border around the edges the same all the way around, but it will be a very tiny border. I think it looks nice for being a tiny border. It looks quite delicate. And then all that's left to do is to come in with our, there we go, and just mount that on there. Really great, loving it. Love it, love it, love it. I really love, I like this layout. I think I might make some birthday cards the same layout because I think they're really pretty. There we go, just put that there and we're done. Very quick little card, this one. Needed to be because I had a lot to make for all my lovely customers in December. If you'd like to be one of my customers, I would love to be sending you a pack next month. So please just go pop through to my online shop. Just go up to the top of my blog and click shop now, or below this video there'll be a link to my shop as well. But anyway, that's it. I think I've got enough of these now to send out to all my customers. I'm hoping so. I hope I've got to make any more. Like I said, I'll be back next time to show you the gift I made. But that's it from me today. Don't forget Celebration. If you want to join and get a little mini trimmer free as part of your starter kit, you can. If you want to join my team, I would love to have you. Or you can spend £45 and choose something free out of the Celebration brochure. Loads of lovely things in there. Okay, that's it from me. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.